to you that we should be mindful of in making our brackets?
Yeah, I think there's two other teams too that I that I really like. Is one is Davidson out of the Atlantic 10.
Steph
They have
Curry's
three.
alma mater.
That's right. They have three all-conference players: Hyunjun Lee, Foster Lawyer, and Luka Brakovic. And Brakovic is an inside-out post player. Every single player on Davidson's team can shoot threes. Every single one.
Oh, wow.
They have one of the best assist-to-turnover ratios in the country. If they don't turn it over, they're a solid defense, and they can get absurdly hot from three.
Okay.
And one of the best passing teams in college basketball. And then the other team, they're not a mid-major, but if you're not taking Virginia Tech seriously, you're not watching what they did the last 4 games in that run in the ACC tournament. They are really good. That's Mike Young. He can coach his tail off. He coached Wofford when Wofford advanced in a couple games in the NCAA tournament with Fletcher McGee, local kid, a couple years ago. And Mike Young is an incredible coach. They have one of the most difficult offenses in the country to prepare for. And they got a local kid. Virginia Tech has a local kid, Hunter Couture.
I was just going to mention
Orlando
similar
kid.
to Fletcher McGee. They have a local guy. He torched Florida State a few weeks ago.
What school?
So Hunter.
Was he an OCP kid?
No, it wasn't an OCP kid.
First Academy?
Nope, wasn't First Academy either. I'll have to look at it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot it. But Couture dropped 31 on Duke in the ACC championship game. He was unbelievable.
Oh wow!
And they figured it out at the right time. And yeah, they're a double digit seed right there, an 11 seed.
Yeah.
But Virginia Tech is. I mean, they're hot at the right time.
I was going to say, any thought, though, and I've got burned on this. I've watched, the conference, not this year, obviously, we're going to see, but I've watched, conference tournaments. I've seen teams, a little bit like Virginia Tech, get hot, win their conference tournament, but then I don't know if they're maybe emotionally spent at that point, but really kind of fall flat in the tournament. Is there any concern on your part that Virginia Tech might suffer a similar fate?
A lot of it depends on how the three ball falls for them. They're looking for the three. They're hunting for the three. They don't just live and die by it, but it's a huge part of their offense is not just making threes, but the threat of the 3-point shot gets the defense shifted in a way in which they want. So if they are making threes, it does change a lot for the Hokies for sure. But you're right, Bink. Historically, not every time, but historically, that team that goes on the run in the conference tournament to get hot, maybe they were an 8 or 9 seed in the ACC tournament, and they weren't considered as an at-large team. That sometimes they run out of gas, but it depends on the style of play, and can you do have enough gas in the style of play? It's like one of the reasons why Syracuse almost every single year, right? They'll finish 9th in the ACC. They're going an ACC tournament run, and they'll get a 12 or 13 seed in the tournament, and they'll make the Sweet 16 or Elite 8.
Right.
Well, their style of play is really conducive for that. Number one, they shoot a ton of threes, and if they're hot, they're almost unstoppable. Number two, if you haven't played that 2-3 zone, you're like the only team in the country that plays a legitimate 2-3 zone for the entire game.
Right.
So it's really hard to scout and prepare for that if you haven't faced it consistently.
Mike, Bubba here. So what are your thoughts about the blue chip teams, the big dogs, if you will, the Dukes, the Gonzagas? What is your outlook on them, and who has the best chance to make it, to the final game there? Out of those teams?
Well, I appreciate you calling Gonzaga a blue chip. That's pretty big time out of the West Coast Conference. They're deserving of it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, they've out recruited Duke and Kentucky for the last 4 years. So there's something to be said for that. But Zags are the real deal. I mean, they're the truth. I mean, about Chet Holmgren. He's a unicorn in the draft. Drew Timme is, second team All-American. Just an absurdly consistent and good front court player. And then Andrew Nembhard, their point guard, he's the key, man. He might be the best point guard in the country.
Florida transfer,
Nembhard is real. Yeah. Nembhard is definitely, he is the leader for sure. And he is so unbelievably good at orchestrating that offense. He's got great tempo and pace. I've got the Zags getting to the championship game and winning it. I have the Zags winning it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I need to redo my.
I think you still have time. You probably tomorrow at 12:05. I think.
No, man. I've lost to my wife for the last 6 straight years, and she's just picking favorite colors and
Pink
fun team names.
Comment.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
He had a good comment yesterday. What was that?
I don't remember.
Who typically wins the?
Yeah. When
brackets?
you do like the office pool and stuff like that, like typically it's like the person who watches the least college basketball. Like,
Exactly.
Always.
Some random like legal assistant, maybe the receptionist at your office, just puts it over everybody.
No question. Almost every time, man. Almost every time. But yeah. So my Final Four is Gonzaga, Baylor, Tennessee, and Kansas. So it's a little chalky. Wow. But Tennessee, if you haven't watched Tennessee play, Tennessee was, I think, giving them a 3 seed was just a total slap in the face to the Volunteers. They've got their point guard, Kennedy Chandler. He's a freshman, and he's a top 5 point guard in the country as a freshman, and may end up being a lottery pick in the draft. He's that good. And they're just absurdly efficient on both ends of the floor and super, super, super tough. Like, a lot of times you might get teams that are really efficient on the offensive end, but they lack that kind of toughness and grit on the defensive end.
Yeah.
That's not the case for Tennessee. They are very fluid on the offense, on the offensive end. It's really, really, really gritty. There's a potential Elite Eight matchup of Tennessee and Arizona that will probably be the best game in the NCAA tournament if it happens, because Arizona they're probably the most aesthetically pleasing offense in college basketball. But that's a matchup that would be you'd pay a lot of money to watch that live.